Hi Libra, welcome to your June 2023 Life Sector Tarot reading with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. So these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign, but they are tarot only. So it doesn't matter which one you watch for. Watch for the one that resonates most for you. But I always advise that you watch all three so that you know which one that actually is. Remember, they're general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody. That is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So I'm going to give these a good shuffle and then we're going to get straight into it. So for June, can you believe we are already like halfway through the year? I don't know what happened or where it's gone. All right, so for your actions and plans over the course of the month, you got the Five of Swords, okay, with the Ace of Wands, nice, okay, and the King of Swords, right? So I actually like this, even though that Five of Swords can be a bit feisty, right? Excuse me. I really like this because of that Ace of Wands in the middle. This kind of suggests that there's something that you've been biting your tongue on for quite some time. You've been holding back, and it's like you've been sort of wound like a spring to the point where it's like now you're like, you know what? You can have in it now, right? Like whatever it is that you are, for some of you, this may take the shape or form of a book or a blog or a really strongly worded letter or essay. Maybe you find a creative outlet for what it is that you need to say. For some of you though, this will be like literally just you going direct to the source. And the reason I say this is because there's, with the King of Swords even, this suggests that there is potentially a professional, legal or official slant to this. So it's like there's a grievance that you've had for some of you, and it's almost like you're saying, no, you know what, I have bitten my tongue left, right and center. I've held back time and time again and I am done with it, right? Now I'm going to say what I need to say. I'm going to say it in, as polite a terms as possible, because Librans, whether you're a man, woman, however you identify, you are Venus ruled. So you have an air of grace and poise about you, right? But this is you, it's like you've reached the end of your tether. And so this month, it's like, how do I formulate what I need to say with maximum effect? And I really like that, when we say what we need to say calmly and focused and clear, without the swearing and the raising of the voice and everything, it hits home that much more powerfully. So I really like that. For a lot of you as well, if you've had anything like a legal dispute, maybe you're doing some kind of paperwork, documentation, etc., that's gone back and forth, and at this point you're like completely pissed off with the whole situation, and this month it's like you're putting it to right, but you are not backing down. I'm like, ooh, get in for it, Libra. Potentially that King of Swords could represent you as well. The King of Swords is usually an air sign male, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. You are an air sign, so this could also be, you showing up for yourself in that way. Now, for your communications, your career and communications, you've got the Eight of Swords. So you're really not backing down with the King of Pentacles. That's you potentially calling for a meeting or going in for one. Potentially as well, for some of you, this is about asking for a raise, maybe asking for more money, more responsibility, potentially a career review in some way, shape or form. Now that King of Pentacles is a great card for things like promotions, raising your prices, maybe getting really good clients or starting to make more money. This is the results of things that you've already worked hard on, right? So the Eight of Swords is a card of being in it for the long haul. Now, this coupled with the King of Pentacles tells me that this is a payout that you're maybe not expecting, but you kind of know that this is due. It's like, no, I've done enough. I've put enough in and now it's time for me to collect the rewards. And the Two of Cups suggests that when you go in for this, you will have an ally or some form of support that says, yes, you know what, I'll back you on this. Now, What do we see? We see two kings. Two kings represents minor council, and this is why I say there's a meeting coming up when it comes to your profession, your career, your academic studies. For those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, this suggests that you are partnering up with somebody who happens to be your, I don't like the word superior, but they're in a higher position to you. So this could be that you're approached by a teacher, maybe you're approached by the establishment themselves, and they say to you, look, we really love the work that you're doing. You work really hard, you're great at what you do. Are you interested in being a TA? Are you interested in taking this further in some way? For those of you that are employed by somebody else, this is the month to go after the pay rise. This is the month to go after that next position, whatever it might be, especially where you've had challenges. This might be an ideal time to ask for it, because if you've been having challenges and you go in and say, actually, you know what, I want a pay rise and I want a promotion, they're going to be like, damn, most people would have just walked out and left by now, but you're on, you know, you're asking for more. You know, sometimes you have to play a different game. When it comes to those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, this is you buddying up, partnering up with somebody. That Two of Cups is always somebody that can be trusted. It's a heartfelt energy, and with the cards that are surrounding it, this does suggest that this is potentially a long-term commitment that's coming in when it comes to the work or the profession. So partnering up or buddying up with people that are beyond in some way, you know, like maybe they've got a bigger audience, maybe they have, you know, the hookup or the connection of some sort. For those of you that are retired and no longer working, this could literally be that you start to work on plans to maybe create a stronger sense of community within your own family or within the space or the place that you live in. So I really like that for you guys. And then when it comes to your love and relations, you've got the Sun card, baby. So you better get in there. All right, with the Ace of Pentacles. Okay, I see you. Oh, and the Queen of Swords. So Librans, I'm going to tell you straight up, if you are single and you are a Libra, I have some very good news for you. The Sun card coupled with the Ace of Pentacles is one of the few combinations that represents true wealth, like good money, big money. I'm going to tell you straight up, if you are single and you are out there looking to mingle, you are very likely to be aligning with somebody who has some serious money. Somebody that is very wealthy, has very good connections. You got, look, right, you got the Sun card, the Ace of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles all in the same vicinity. With the Two of Cups, that's a relationship energy, and with the Queen of Swords. Now, the Queen of Swords does suggest you may not know that this person has money. And so when you start dating them, you're just, you know, everything's completely normal to you. And then you notice like little snide comments from their friends or whatever, and you're like, okay, what is all of this about? And then you find out, okay, this person's minted and people think that I just want their money. That's just one way this could play out. There are a few others, one of which could be that you are the wealthy person and you start to date somebody and somebody starts to question you on it and say, oh, you know, this person just wants you for your money and blah, 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 blah. Now, if you are partnered, married or in long-term commitment, this suggests that your financial destiny is about to change all the way up, honey. Okay, so I am totally here for this. June is the month to lean into your financial blessings. It's a time where you and your partner could both be doing very well financially, but there are new opportunities that come in here that could be very lucrative for you and potentially have an international slant to them. So I love, love, love this for you guys. Now, speaking of your money and materials, you have the Knight of Wands. So there's definitely an element of travel to do with your money this month, all right? Any form of international connection, any form of connection where you are meeting with, connecting with people of foreign cultures, different backgrounds, etc., are likely to be where the money comes from. You've got the Hanged Man, so it looks like for some of you a trip is on hold, but then you've got the Four of Wands. So the trip is on hold, but it will go ahead. And when it does, it will be much better. You've got good news coming into the home. So when it comes to your finances, there's a delay here with a trip, but there are international connections that for some reason are very lucrative for you. That Four of Wands suggests that there is going to be a financial and potentially domestic reason to celebrate this month. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, now, this is, it's a somewhat different energy. The Four of Wands is a little bit of a saving grace, But with the Knight of Wands and the Hanged Man, that is some form of inflammation in the body that centers around either a gland in the body that secretes a certain type of hormone. I'm not a doctor, I can't give you medical advice, but I know what I see when I see it in my cards, and I'm going to tell you straight up, there's some form of inflammation that's happening this month for a lot of you. It could be around the feet, the toes, and or the ankles. Another way that this potentially shows up is you could have a problem with one of your, your endocrine system or your hormones. Each one of those hormones is secreted by a different gland in the body. For a lot of you, if you have any health issues this month, go and see an endocrinologist. Maybe ask your doctor to check your hormone levels, because one of them is likely to be out and it's due to some form of inflammation. All right, and then finally, when it comes to, that's not for everybody, by the way, it's not like all Libras are suddenly going to have this ailment, but if you have anything wrong, ask your doctor to start with those things. I've actually had, I say this stuff to people and they're like, that's oddly specific, Graf. I've had 2 people so far come back to me, personal clients actually, and they're like, dude, how did you pick this up? Because my doctor was surprised as well. And I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. I mean, I'm not a doctor. I can't give you medical advice, but like I say, I know what I see in my cards. And when I see it, if I highlight it to you and you tell your doctor and they can start looking in that area, like this is how this stuff is supposed to work. Now, finally, when it comes to your home and environment, there's good news coming in here, but there's a delay with something. So for a lot of you, if you've been planning to have people over, you've been planning to travel for familial or, kind of family ties, etc., there's a delay here somewhere. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. If you haven't got your seat, you are a Libra, right? If you haven't got your seat for the Venus webinar, you need to get on that. This is a 4-month transit. It's a huge deal because this is your ruling planet going into the sign of Libra. This is a big deal for you because you are going to feel this more than most. The link for that is in the description box below. I can't wait to see you there. We're going to be talking astrology. We're going to be talking human design. Trust me, it is going to be awesome. With that said, take care and I'll see you soon.